You know that feeling when you trust someone completely, when you believe in them so deeply that the idea of betrayal does not even cross your mind. That was me with Stephanie. We had been married for 3 years, living in a quiet neighborhood in Oregon. I worked as a software engineer from home, and she managed marketing at a local company. We traveled on weekends, cooked dinner together every night, talked about our future. Life felt stable, predictable, safe. But sometimes the person you trust most is the one hiding the biggest secret. One ordinary Tuesday, I came home early with a headache. Nobody expected that decision would change everything. What I found in our bedroom that afternoon would shatter everything I believed about love, loyalty, and the woman I married. Before I continue with what happened next, I would love to know, where are you watching this from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. And if you have ever felt that gut-wrenching moment when everything you believe turned out to be a lie, hit that like button. It lets me know you are here with me on this journey. Do not forget to subscribe, because this story gets a whole lot more intense, and you will not want to miss how I handled what came next. Now, let me take you back to that Tuesday afternoon. Our house was a 2-story place on the outskirts of Portland, Oregon. Painted light gray with a small front yard and a white picket fence. Nothing fancy, but it was ours. Or at least I thought it was ours. Every morning started the same way. I would wake up at 6 o'clock, make coffee for both of us. Stephanie usually slept until 6:30, then rushed through her morning routine before driving 15 miles to her office. I would head upstairs to my home office, start work by 8. Evenings we cooked together, watched movies, walked around the neighborhood. Simple, comfortable. We talked about buying a bigger house, about having our first kid within the next 2 years. My parents lived in California, visited occasionally. Her parents lived right here in the city, came over for dinner most weekends. We had a group of friends who got together every Friday night. Everything seemed normal, perfect even. Looking back now, I realize I was living in a beautiful illusion, carefully constructed by someone I thought I knew. About 2 months before everything fell apart, things started changing. Small things at first. Stephanie began working later. Instead of coming home at 5 in the evening, it became 7, then 8 at night. She would walk through the door exhausted, saying the new project was demanding her boss needed extra hours. Deadlines were tight. I believed her. Why would I not? She was ambitious. I had always admired that about her. I even encouraged her, told her I was proud of how hard she worked. Then I noticed she started paying more attention to her appearance. More makeup, new clothes appearing in her closet. She changed her hairstyle, got highlights. When I complimented her, she would smile and say she just wanted to feel good about herself. Fair enough. But there was something else. Sometimes when she came home, I caught a whiff of cologne. Not the perfume I bought her for her birthday. Something different. Masculine. When I mentioned it once, she laughed it off. Said she probably stood too close to a male coworker in the elevator. Her phone habits changed too. She started placing her phone face down on the table, instead of face up like before. Messages would come in at odd hours, middle of the night sometimes. When I asked, she said it was colleagues in different time zones. She changed her phone password. We had always known each other's passwords before. When I casually asked why she got defensive, said she just wanted more privacy. That everyone deserves privacy. I backed off. Maybe I should not have. The emotional distance grew wider. Our evening conversations became shorter. She seemed tired all the time, wanted to go to bed early. Physical intimacy decreased dramatically. There was always an excuse. Too tired, headache, early meeting tomorrow. I tried not to take it personally. Stress affects people differently, right? But some nights I would lie awake next to her feeling like I was sleeping beside a stranger. A few times I caught her staring at her phone screen, smiling. The kind of smile I had not seen directed at me in months. That smile haunted me more than I wanted to admit. One Thursday evening, about a week before everything exploded, I was cooking dinner in the kitchen. Her phone rang. She glanced at the screen. Her face flushed red, and she quickly stepped out onto the balcony to answer. I could hear her voice through the glass door, soft, almost playful. She talked for 15 minutes, occasionally laughing in that light, giggly way. When she came back inside, I asked who it was. Just Sarah from work talking about the project, she said without making eye contact. But I had met Sarah a few times. That voice, that tone did not match how Stephanie spoke with Sarah. The following Friday, she announced she had to go on a business trip that weekend. To Seattle. Company retreat team-building exercises. It was sudden. Her company usually held these events at the end of quarters, not randomly mid-month. I offered to drive her to the airport. She declined quickly, said she was carpooling with coworkers, they would pick her up. The entire weekend she barely texted. When she called, it was brief. Said she was busy with activities, the signal was bad. When she came home Sunday night, she seemed different, distant, guilty maybe. But I still did not want to believe what my gut was screaming at me. While she was gone that weekend, I cleaned our bedroom, found a hotel receipt in the pocket of one of her jackets. Not a Seattle hotel. A hotel right here in the city, 20 miles from our house. The date on the receipt was from 2 weeks earlier. Another night she claimed she worked late. My hands shook as I held that small piece of paper. I sat on the edge of our bed, staring at it, trying to find an innocent explanation. Maybe a work meeting at a hotel conference room. Maybe she grabbed someone else's receipt by mistake. I wanted so badly to believe there was a logical reason. But deep in my chest, something twisted. Something broke. I folded the receipt, put it back where I found it, and tried to pretend I never saw it. I wanted to believe there was a reasonable explanation. I wanted to believe my wife was not lying to me. But deep down, something inside me already knew the truth. I just was not ready to face it yet. Tuesday started like any other day. I woke up at 6, made coffee. Stephanie woke up later than usual, rushed around getting ready. She kissed me quickly on the cheek as she grabbed her bag. "See you tonight, honey. I might be late again. That presentation is due tomorrow." I nodded, told her not to work too hard. She smiled, but it did not reach her eyes. The door closed behind her. I heard her car start, then fade into the distance. I went upstairs to my office, logged into work at 8 o'clock sharp. Around 11 in the morning, a headache crept up on me. Started as a dull throb behind my eyes, then grew sharper. Staring at the computer screen made me dizzy. I tried pushing through, but by 11:30 I could not focus. I messaged my team lead. "Not feeling well, taking the rest of the day off." He replied with a quick, "Feel better." I closed my laptop, went to the bathroom, took some pain medication, thought about lying down. Then I realized we were out of milk. Figured I might as well make myself useful, head to the grocery store, pick up a few things. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I drove to the supermarket. Grabbed milk, some fruit bread, chicken for dinner. On the way back, I stopped at our usual coffee shop, bought a cappuccino. Thought maybe the caffeine would help with the headache. By 2 o'clock, I was pulling into our driveway. The headache had dulled to a manageable ache. I felt a bit better. Grabbed the grocery bags from the trunk, walked up to the front door, key in hand. The moment I stepped inside, something felt wrong. The air felt different, heavy. I set the grocery bags down on the kitchen counter. That is when I saw it. A black jacket hanging on the coat rack by the door. Not mine. Too big for me, wrong brand, wrong style. My heart started beating faster. Next to the door, a pair of brown leather dress shoes. Men's shoes. Size looked like 11 or 12. Not mine. I wear size 10, and I only own sneakers and one pair of black loafers. My mouth went dry. Maybe it is Stephanie's brother, I thought desperately. But her brother lives in Texas. Has not visited in over a year. I stood frozen in the entryway. Then I heard it. Sounds from upstairs. Voices. Laughter. A female voice. Stephanie. A male voice. Deep. Unfamiliar. My legs felt like they weighed 1,000 pounds. Each step toward the staircase felt impossible. My hands were shaking. My heart pounded so hard I thought it might burst through my chest. I gripped the banister, started climbing. 1 step, 2 steps. The voices grew louder, coming from our bedroom. The master bedroom. Our bedroom. The door was slightly open, just a crack of light spilling into the hallway. I reached the top of the stairs, walked slowly down the hallway. My breathing was shallow. I felt nauseous. Part of me wanted to turn around, walk back out, pretend I never came home early. but my feet kept moving forward. I reached the bedroom door, put my hand on the doorknob. It was cold against my palm. I could hear everything now. Laughter, movement. The sounds made my stomach twist. I closed my eyes for a second, took a breath, and pushed the door open wide. Afternoon sunlight streamed through the window. Our bed. The bed Stephanie and I had shared for 3 years. The bed we picked out together, choosing the mattress, the frame, the sheets. Right there on that bed was my wife. And a man I had never seen before. Tall brown hair, beard, maybe 35 years old. Clothes scattered across the floor. Her blouse, his shirt, everything. The cologne smell hit me. The same smell I had noticed on her before. For 3 seconds, nobody moved. Nobody breathed. We were all frozen statues in a nightmare scene. Then Stephanie saw me. Her eyes went wide. Color drained from her face. She gasped, pulled away from the man, grabbed for the sheets. Claude. Her voice cracked. What? What are you doing? Home. The man looked panicked, tried to cover himself with a pillow. His face red with embarrassment, or shame, or fear. I could not tell. I could not feel anything. Numbness washed over me. This could not be real. This could not be happening. I stood in the doorway, unable to speak. Every memory from the past 3 years flashed through my mind. Our wedding day. Her in that white dress promising to love me, to stay faithful, till death do us part. Our honeymoon in Hawaii. Walking on the beach, her hand in mine. All those nights we spent in this room, talking about our dreams, holding each other. This room we painted together. This furniture we chose together. This bed. Everything was ruined, destroyed. I felt my stomach lurch. I thought I might actually throw up right there. Stephanie scrambled off the bed, grabbed her shirt from the floor, pulled it on with shaking hands. Claude, please let me explain. Her voice was desperate, high-pitched. I held up my hand, took a step back. Do not come near me. My voice did not sound like mine. It was cold, flat, dead. I turned my head toward the man still on the bed. Who are you? He fumbled for his pants, his face pale. I am Marcus. I work with Stephanie. Look, man, I did not know she was married, liar. The word came out sharp. My wedding photos are all over this house. Marcus looked away, could not meet my eyes. Stephanie started crying. Tears streamed down her face. Claude, I am so sorry, this was not supposed to happen. Something inside me snapped. How long, I asked. My voice was eerily calm, too calm. She did not answer, just stood there shaking, sobbing. How long? I shouted. My voice echoed off the walls. It was the first time I had ever yelled at her, the first time in our entire relationship. She flinched, wrapped her arms around herself. Her voice came out broken, barely a whisper. 4 months. It started 4 months ago. At the company retreat, 4 months, 1/3 of a year, while I made her coffee every morning, while I supported her career, while I planned our future, while I loved her with everything I had. Marcus and Stephanie met at work. Assigned to the same project. Started with coffee breaks, then lunch meetings, then it crossed the line. All those late nights at the office were lies. She was with him. That weekend trip to Seattle that never happened. She was in a hotel with him, right here in the city, 20 miles from our home. Do you love him? I asked. I do not know why I asked. Maybe I wanted it to hurt more. Stephanie hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. I do not know. I was confused. You were always busy with work, and Marcus paid attention to me, I laughed. It was a bitter, hollow sound. I was busy. I worked from home so I could be near you. I made dinner for us every single night. I asked about your day every evening. What more did you want? Marcus finally got his pants on, stood up. Look, this is between you two. I should go. I moved to block the doorway, looked him straight in the eye. No, you do not get to just walk away. You come into my house, into my bed with my wife, and you think you can just leave. Marcus swallowed hard. What do you want me to say? I am sorry. Fine, I am sorry. His apology meant nothing. Empty words. Get out, I said quietly. Get out before I do something I will regret. He did not need to be told twice. Grabbed his shirt, his shoes pushed past me, and ran down the stairs. I heard the front door slam. His car engine started, tires screeched as he drove away. I turned back to Stephanie. She stood there in the middle of the room looking small and broken, but I felt nothing for her. No pity, no love, just emptiness. Pack your things, I said. She looked at me with red, swollen eyes. What? No, please. We can work this out. I shook my head. Pack your things. I want you out of this house tonight. She dropped to her knees, literally fell to the floor in front of me, hands clasped together like she was praying. Please, I made a mistake. I love you. I pulled my hand away from her reach. If you loved me, you would not have done this. I turned around, walked out of the bedroom, closed the door behind me. My legs barely held me as I went downstairs. I gripped the railing so I would not fall. Everything I thought I knew about my life, my marriage, my future, gone in an instant. But standing there watching the woman I loved beg for forgiveness, I knew one thing with absolute clarity. I was done being the fool. I walked into the living room, sat down on the couch. My hands were still shaking. I opened my laptop, typed into the search bar divorce lawyers in Oregon. The screen filled with results. Law firms, reviews, contact information. I saved 5 of the top-rated ones. Created a document, started making a list. Contact lawyer, separate bank accounts, gather evidence, notify family, protect assets. Each item I typed felt like another brick in the wall I was building between my old life and whatever came next. I went back upstairs to my office, grabbed my camera, walked back to the bedroom. Stephanie was still in there, sitting on the edge of the bedhead in her hands. I did not say anything, just started taking pictures. The unmade bed, the clothes still scattered on the floor. The evidence was undeniable. I went back downstairs, photographed the jacket and shoes by the door. Then I checked the house phone, the landline we barely used but still kept. There was a text message on it from an unknown number. Hey babe, I am here. Door is unlocked. Sent at 1:45 this afternoon. I took a screenshot of that too. Saved everything to a folder on my laptop, backed it up to the cloud. Stephanie came downstairs 20 minutes later. Her eyes were swollen, mascara smeared down her cheeks. She had thrown on jeans and a sweater. Claude, can we please talk? I did not look up from my laptop. There is nothing to talk about. I want you to leave. Tonight. Her voice broke. But where will I go? I finally looked at her. Felt nothing but cold indifference. Call Marcus, or Sarah, or anyone else you have been lying to me about. I do not care. She started crying again, but I was immune to it. Those tears meant nothing anymore. She went back upstairs. I heard her moving around, opening drawers, the closet door sliding. 20 minutes later, she came down, pulling a suitcase behind her. It bumped down each step. She stopped at the front door, turned to look at me one last time. This is not over, Claude. We took vows. For better or worse, I still did not look at her. Kept my eyes on the laptop screen. You broke those vows the moment you brought him into our bed. I heard her breath catch. Then the sound of the door opening, closing. Her car starting, the engine fading into the distance. Then silence. Complete, heavy silence. I sat alone in the house that no longer felt like home. The next morning, Wednesday, I woke up at 6:30. Had not slept much, maybe 2 hours total. But I had a clear head. I called the first law firm on my list at 9 o'clock when they opened. I need to file for divorce immediately. The receptionist scheduled me for that afternoon. At 2 o'clock, I sat in a leather chair across from Jennifer Patterson, a divorce attorney in her early 50s with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. I laid out everything, showed her the photos, the text messages, the hotel receipt I had found. She nodded, taking notes. This is clear-cut adultery. Oregon is a no-fault divorce state, but this evidence will help significantly with asset division. She explained the process, the timeline, the costs. I signed the retainer agreement without hesitation. $7,500 up front. I did not blink. I want this done fast and clean, I told her. She smiled slightly. We will make it happen. Thursday morning I went to the bank. Met with the financial advisor I had worked with when Stephanie and I opened our joint account 3 years ago. That account currently held $23,000. Our combined savings. Jennifer had advised me to withdraw my half immediately to protect it. I transferred $11,500 into a new individual account, left the other half for Stephanie, fair and legal. I also froze our joint credit card to prevent any revenge spending. Called the insurance company, separated my car insurance policy from hers. Called our landlord, explained the situation, said I would be the only one renewing the lease. He was understanding, said he would send updated paperwork. That afternoon a locksmith came to the house. Changed all the locks. Front door, back door, garage. It cost $200. Worth every penny. That evening my phone rang. Stephanie. I had not blocked her number yet, though I probably should have. Why did you take money from our account? She screamed through the phone. I kept my voice level. That is my half. Talk to my lawyer from now on. I gave her Jennifer's contact information. Then I hung up, blocked her number, blocked her on every social media platform, deleted every photo of her from my phone. It took an hour. 3 years of pictures gone. Friday, I started making the difficult calls. First, a video call with my parents in California. My mom answered smiling, but her face fell when she saw my expression. I told them everything. Mom cried. Dad got angry, said things about Stephanie. I had never heard him say about anyone. Do you want us to come up there? Mom asked, wiping her eyes. I shook my head. Not yet. I am handling it. Dad's voice was firm. That woman. After everything you did for her, you deserve so much better, son. Hearing that helped more than I expected. I called my 3 closest friends. Jake, my best friend, since college, answered on the first ring. I told him what happened. There was a long pause. Then he said, Dude, I never liked her anyway. You deserve better. It was a lie. He had liked Stephanie fine, but I appreciated him saying it. He offered to come stay with me so I would not be alone. I declined, but thanked him. My other 2 friends had similar reactions. Supportive, angry on my behalf, ready to help however they could. Then I sent an email to our mutual friend group, kept it brief and factual. Hi everyone. Just letting you know that Stephanie and I are separating. I will not go into details, but I would appreciate your understanding during this time. Within an hour I had responses. 3 people messaged me privately. All of them said they were there for me. One friend, Emily, sent a message that made my blood run cold. Honestly, I saw them together at a restaurant 2 months ago and thought it was suspicious. I should have told you. I stared at that message for a long time. Other people had seen signs, had suspected, but nobody said anything. I did not blame them. How do you tell someone their spouse might be cheating without proof? Still, it stung. The second week after everything fell apart, Stephanie kept trying to reach me. Emails. Lots of emails. Since I had blocked her phone number, email was her only option. We need to talk about the house, the furniture, our stuff. Another one. Please, Claude, give me one chance to explain everything. I forwarded every single email to Jennifer without reading them fully. Jennifer sent a formal letter to Stephanie. All communication must go through legal counsel. Eventually, Stephanie requested a meeting. Jennifer advised me it would be good to settle things quickly and cleanly. I agreed to meet once, but only at Jennifer's office. With Jennifer present, Monday of the second week, I walked into that conference room. Stephanie was already there, sitting across the table. She looked terrible. Dark circles under her eyes. Hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. When I walked in, she stood up. Claude, please. I know I messed up, but we can go to therapy. We can fix this. I sat down, did not look at her. Jennifer sat beside me. I finally spoke, my voice steady. There is nothing to fix. You did not make a mistake, Stephanie. You made a choice. For 4 months, you chose to lie to me every single day. I ended it with Marcus, she said desperately. I told him we are done. I met her eyes then. Good for you. But that changes nothing for us. Jennifer slid papers across the table. Asset division agreement. We did not have much to split. No house, just renting. No kids. 2 cars, both in individual names. Furniture would be divided evenly. Stephanie could come get her things on Sunday when I would not be home. Everything was straightforward. Clean. Sign here, I said, pointing to the line. My voice held no emotion. Stephanie's hand shook as she picked up the pen. A tear fell onto the paper, smudging the ink slightly. She signed her name. I signed mine. Jennifer witnessed both signatures. It was done. The marriage was officially over, pending the final court date in 60 days. I stood up, ready to leave. Stephanie tried one more time. Claude, I really did love you. I still do. I looked at her one last time. Maybe you did, but not enough. Then I walked out. Driving home that evening, something shifted inside me. The anger faded, the pain dulled. What remained was strange, unexpected relief. I did not need her apologies. Did not need explanations or closure from her. I had already given myself closure by choosing to walk away with my dignity intact. That was my victory. As I drove home that evening, I realized something profound. I did not need closure from Stephanie. I did not need her apologies or her explanations. I had already given myself closure by choosing to walk away with my dignity intact. That was my victory. The first month after the divorce was finalized felt surreal. The house was mine now, but it did not feel like home anymore. The first night alone, I could not bring myself to sleep in the master bedroom. Every time I looked at that bed, I saw them. So I slept on the couch, did that for an entire week. Then I got angry at myself. Why was I the one uncomfortable in my own space? I called a cleaning service, had them come in, deep clean the entire bedroom. I threw out the old bedding, all of it, sheets, comforter, pillows. Drove to a home goods store, bought all new bedding, dark blue instead of the cream color Stephanie had chosen. Bought new curtains too. Small changes, but they helped me reclaim the space. The second month, I started focusing on myself in ways I had not in years. Joined a gym. Something I had wanted to do, but Stephanie always said it was a waste of money. Turned out, I actually enjoyed it. The routine. The physical exhaustion that helped me sleep better. I started cooking new recipes. Experimented with baking. Found out I was pretty good at making bread. My mom laughed when I sent her a photo of my first successful sourdough loaf. Started calling my parents every week instead of every month. Our relationship grew closer. I realized how much I had neglected them while focusing on my marriage. I reconnected with old friends, grabbed coffee with people I had not seen in years. Everyone was supportive. Nobody judged me. I joined a local hiking group, started going on weekend trails around Oregon, met new people, heard their stories, shared mine when it felt right. The world felt bigger somehow. During the marriage, my world had shrunk to just Stephanie and me. Now it was expanding again. I was not lonely. I was learning to enjoy my own company. 3 months in, I got a promotion at work. My focus had actually improved. Threw myself into projects exceeded expectations. My boss noticed. The raise was significant. Enough that I could afford to move to a better apartment. I found a 1-bedroom place closer to downtown Portland. Smaller than the house, but it was mine. Completely mine. I decorated it exactly how I wanted. Minimalist modern. Clean lines. No compromises. No debates about throw pillows or paint colors. Just my taste. It felt liberating. I even started dating casually. Nothing serious. Just coffee here and there. Getting to know new people. Remembering what it felt like to have someone interested in me. One woman, Rachel, I met through the hiking group. She was a kindergarten teacher. Kind, patient, easy to talk to. We went on a few dates. I was honest with her about my recent divorce. She was understanding, did not push for anything serious. We took it slow. No pressure, no expectations. Just enjoying each other's company. 6 months after everything fell apart, I ran into Stephanie at the grocery store. I was in the produce section picking out apples when I heard her voice. Turned around and there she was, 10 feet away. She saw me at the same moment. We both froze. Then awkwardly, we both said hello. She asked how I was doing. I said fine. Asked how she was. She said okay. The conversation lasted maybe 90 seconds. Polite, distant, like talking to an acquaintance, not someone I once promised forever to. When we walked away in opposite directions, I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness. Just nothing. She was a stranger now. That felt right. A year later, I looked back at everything and felt grateful. Not grateful for the betrayal. That still hurt when I thought about it too long. But grateful for the strength I found in myself. Strength I did not know I had. I had rebuilt my life, on my own terms. I was happier now than I had been in that last year of marriage. I was dating Rachel more seriously now. We talked about moving in together, but we were taking our time. No rush. I had learned that lesson. She knew my story. Knew I had trust issues to work through. She was patient, understanding. We went to couples counseling preemptively, just to make sure we communicated well. That felt healthy, mature. My relationship with my parents was stronger. My friendships were deeper. My career was thriving. I had hobbies I loved. A community I belonged to. I was not perfect. Still had bad days. Still occasionally woke up angry about what Stephanie did. But those days were fewer and farther between. Mostly I felt peace. I had chosen myself, chosen my future over a past that was rotting from the inside. That choice saved me. Looking back, I realized betrayal does not define you. How you respond to it does. Stephanie's betrayal was not about my worth. It was about her choices, her character. Not mine. I did not blame myself anymore, stopped asking what I could have done differently. The truth was nothing. You cannot fix someone else's brokenness. You can only choose whether to stay and let it break you too, or walk away and heal yourself. I chose to walk away. Best decision I ever made. Acting quickly and decisively was not about being cold. It was about protecting myself from further harm. If I had stayed, tried to work it out, I would have spent years wondering, questioning, looking at her phone, checking up on her, living in constant doubt. That is no way to live. By leaving immediately, I gave myself the gift of certainty, the gift of self-respect. Some people might say, I gave up too quickly. That marriage is worth fighting for, maybe, but not when one person has already given up. Not when trust is shattered beyond repair. I learned that you cannot control what others do to you, but you absolutely can control how you rebuild afterward. I chose not to let Stephanie's betrayal turn me bitter. Chose not to close myself off to love forever. Chose to heal. Chose to trust again carefully and wisely. Chose to open my heart to Rachel even though it scared me. That took courage, more courage than walking away did. And I was proud of myself for that. Today, when I think back to that Tuesday afternoon, I do not remember the pain as sharply anymore. What I remember most is the strength I found in myself, strength I did not know I had. Walking into that bedroom was the worst moment of my life. Walking out of it, choosing myself, choosing my future, that was my finest. If you are going through something similar, know this. You are not alone. You are not weak for feeling hurt. And you are absolutely strong enough to walk away and build something better. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let go of what is destroying you, even if you still love it. And sometimes the best revenge is simply living well without them. Have you ever had to make a difficult decision to protect yourself even when it hurt? Drop your story in the comments below. I would love to hear how you found your strength. And if this story resonated with you, hit that like button. Share this video with someone who might need to hear it. Subscribe to this channel because I will keep sharing real stories about resilience, healing, and finding yourself again after everything falls apart. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it brings you some comfort, some strength, or at least the knowledge that you deserve better than betrayal. Take care of yourselves out there. You are stronger than you think. Stay true to who you are and never settle for less than you deserve. Until next time.